The winter had come early that year. Snow covered the ground in a soft, white blanket, and the river that ran through the village had turned into a wide sheet of glittering ice. The air was so cold that even breath seemed to freeze mid-air. One morning, as the sun rose weakly through the frost, a young villager named Elias walked toward the riverbank. He carried a fishing pole, hoping to catch something from the small holes villagers had carved in the ice. But before he could set up, a strange sound caught his attention, a sharp cry that echoed across the frozen surface. Elias turned his head and froze. Out in the middle of the river, a red fox stood stranded on a chunk of ice, its golden eyes wide with fear. The fox had likely tried to cross the river in search of food, but the ice had cracked beneath it, breaking away from the shore. Now the animal was drifting slowly toward the center, where the water ran deep and dangerous. The fox let out another desperate cry, its paws slipping on the frozen surface. Elias's heart clenched. The river was treacherous, one wrong step, and he could fall in, the icy water claiming him within minutes. But he couldn't just stand there and watch. He dropped his fishing pole and ran back to his small cabin. Grabbing a coil of rope and a long wooden pole, he hurried back to the river. The fox was farther away now, trembling and unable to move. Elias tied one end of the rope tightly around his waist, and the other to a sturdy tree at the bank. He inched forward onto the ice, testing each step. The ice groaned under his boots, a deep, hollow sound that made his stomach twist. The fox's eyes followed him, ears pinned back, body crouched low. "Easy. I'm not here to hurt you," Elias murmured, his breath fogging the air. The wind bit at his face as he reached the edge of the broken ice. Using the pole, he nudged the chunk, holding the fox closer to solid ground. The fox flinched, but didn't run. There was nowhere to go. Elias leaned forward, one knee on the ice, and held out his gloved hand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a small whimper, the fox crawled forward, paws scraping against the ice, and leaped toward Elias. The impact almost sent him sliding, but the rope held him steady. He pulled the fox close, cradling it against his chest, as he made his way back to shore. By the time they reached solid ground, Elias's hands were numb, and his legs ached from the cold. He set the fox down gently. It looked up at him for a long moment, golden eyes softening before, limping toward the woods. But just before it vanished into the trees, it turned back, as if to say thank you. Elias watched until the fox was gone, warmth blooming in his chest despite the freezing air. He never forgot that look, and from that day forward, whenever he walked by the frozen river, he would smile because sometimes, even in the coldest winters, courage and kindness could thaw the deepest ice.